What is up, everyone, and welcome to another segment of the InnovationYGO podcast. And in this video, I'm gonna be going over 10 hard truths for Yu-Gi-Oh players. So with all that being said, guys, let's get into it. Without further ado, let's begin. Starting off by saying, what made me want to make this video? Honestly speaking, I was just sitting down and I'm just like, man, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players just don't get it. They just don't get how Yu-Gi-Oh works. It's one of those things where it's like you don't ask questions, you just go with the flow if you want to continue to enjoy the game like myself. But with that being said, I feel like just ranting because that's what I like to do. I like to rant, so let's get into it. Number 10, buying boxes is a waste of money. Yeah, I said it. Buying boxes is a waste of money. A lot of players will work part-time jobs, I've seen it, to buy a box of freaking Yu-Gi-Oh cards just to pull crap. Now, a lot of you might be saying, but Christopher, you buy boxes all the time, right? Wrong. I only bought boxes to open up on the channel for you guys' entertainment. But by no means do I invest heavily into buying boxes of cards. It's a waste of money. If you really want to pick up a specific deck, the best route is to buy singles. You might pay a little more outright, but guess what? You're going to save a lot of money in the long run. Reason being, I could buy one box of whatever, like the box that the archetype for Sky Strikers came in, and get half of the deck, but still won't pull 3 engages, which goes for $100. And at the moment when the box came out, they were going for like 50s. So with that being said, real talk, I was better off just saving my money and buying the engages and buying off the singles, which are now probably like $1 to $2 depending on the card I need to pick up, and I'm good to go. I save myself time and headache. So yeah, man, buying boxes is a waste of money. Don't do it. Just buy singles. Number 9, you don't suck, your deck sucks. Now, this is kind of not a hard truth. It's kind of an encouraging thing. But the thing about a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players is they play a lot of rogue decks, and this includes myself. Like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I like to play bad decks because I find them to be more fun, to be frank. But at the same time, I'm very self-aware to know that I'm not a bad player. It's just my deck, and if I really want to do well, I have to play meta or something that can counter the meta. A great example of that would be my 2015 hero deck that I got 69th at Nationals with. It wasn't the best deck, but it dang sure was not a bad deck, and it could counter the meta, and I lost none of my rogue deck matches that year. So with that being said, man, yeah, just play a better deck and you guys will do well. Number 8, you have horrible tech choices. Now, this is funny because, I like to give out tech choices on my channel, and sometimes, tech choices don't work for every deck. But I've seen some people just do some crazy things. For example, I've seen people just tech in random cards like DD Crow in a meta where DD Crow is not needed because they lost to that one guy at their locals. He uses a graveyard based deck at the time, and he just wanted to side deck the DD Crow and or main deck the DD Crow to counteract that one person at locals. Now, is that a smart thing to do? No. Which is why when that person goes to a lot of events thinking, hey, I'm gonna tech in my one random DD Crow or my one random whatever, my one random ritual monster, my one random Exodia, and they just get that crap pushed in because their choices are just bad. And it's something you just have to admit to yourself. Like, when you're playing this game and when you're building decks, your tech choices have to flow well with your deck, guys. Just pick better tech choices, man, and you guys will do good. Number 7, Yu-Gi-Oh is a money game. Now, this is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because they like to feel like you can play Yu-Gi-Oh decks for $100 or less and do well, and you can to a certain degree. You just gotta game the system. But if you are gonna compete on the highest caliber of level, when it comes down to it, you gotta spend that top dollar. Look, I'll give you guys another example of myself. Back in 2014, when I got my YCS top with chain gadgets, which was a unique deck for itself that I invented myself. Actually, I got the idea from Japan. I actually had to drop a little bit of bread on my extra deck. That being said, I had to get a Evil Swarm Excite-Knight, and at the time I think it was $100 for that card. I've never dropped that much money in a card, and I didn't drop the hundo, but what I did drop was 65 for a damaged one. So I still saved a little money, but that was the most I've ever spent on one card. But it ended up being a good investment because I topped that event and I sold my mat that I topped. So I made my money back and then some. But with that being said, you have to spend money at some point if you plan on doing well, even if you play bad decks or questionably decks that are not the favorite for the event. Number 6, Rogue rarely does well. Now, I hate to be the Debbie Downer or bad news, but if you guys like to play Rogue decks like myself, you guys just got to be real with yourself at one point and just say, Rogue decks, while they are good to play, while you may be more skilled, that's still kind of arguable. When you play Rogue decks, they rarely do well. Stop playing bad decks. If you want to do good, spend the money and play the meta. It's just that simple. Now, you might get lucky every once in a while in a format like your boy and play a Rogue deck and do well, but that's few and far in between. Even pro players like Jeff Jones, who loves Rogue decks, I can tell because he does try to innovate the meta. When it comes down to it at certain events, he does just play meta when he wants to do well. And if he has a great idea with hours of testing, he'll bust out a Rogue deck just to push everyone's crap in. So yeah, Rogue decks rarely do well. So if you guys care about trying to win, don't play Rogue, just play meta. Number 5, net decking isn't always going to allow you to win. Now, this does not mean that you guys should stop net decking. Net decking is a great tool to get your ideas flowing for a deck. Heck, it helps make me money. Some of my most popular videos on my channel are all Masked Hero deck related. So net decking is good. You guys should definitely net deck. But then, all pun intended, real talk, if you guys are gonna net deck a deck, at least use it for a testing ground. Don't net deck a deck card for card. Go to an event, then you be like that one guy. I think it was in WCQ for Europe. I think he was on stream and he net decked the Burning Abyss deck that did well in the US, and he literally play errored his way to losing the entire game. According to what I read online, I didn't even watch the match. So yeah, man, when stuff like that happens, you know people just net decked because they thought the deck was good. They probably played 1 or 2 games with it, but you really have to get to learn a deck properly before just taking it to a major event. So yeah, man, net decking isn't always going to allow you to win, so stop doing it unless you're going to get a lot of practice and add your own flavor to that deck. Number 4, blinging out a deck doesn't always mean you will win. Now, this is something that gets under my skin a little bit, only because like, you guys will be surprised at the amount of times I've seen people bling out their decks, and there's nothing wrong with that by any means. But the entitled attitude that some of these players have when they bling out their freaking decks, they think they're entitled to win because they paid $1,000 or close to $600 on the highest rarity of every freaking card. It's like, bruh, grow up. Yes, your deck looks nice. Yes, it's cool to have. But you're not entitled to win because you paid more money for your deck than I did with my deck. That's complete BS. Go crawl back in your little man cave, shave your neck beard, and chill out, bro. It's just a card game. Chill the freak out. So, with that being said, man, blinking out a deck, stop the entitled attitude. It's like that rich boy complex, like, hey, I can spend money, so I'm good. No, you're still bad. You're just a bad player with a pretty deck. Number 3, your favorite pro probably cheats. Now, I don't know if people still have favorite pros nowadays, but I know growing up, a lot of people like myself like to watch Billy Break, Jeff Jones. A lot of the newer kids like the Patrick Hobans. Even Frazier Smith back in the day was pretty cool. But just to be real, guys, a lot of pros cheat. A lot of your favorite pros probably cheat. A lot of the best cheaters never get caught. And a lot of the great cheaters, they do get caught, like Adam Korn. I guess he's not a great cheater if he got caught. He pretty much stated, everyone cheats, so I'm just doing what everybody else does. And legit, everybody who I know in the Chicagoland area who is a highly skilled player from back in the day up until now, who has connections with some of the old school pros and the new school pros, they all either agree and or know for a fact a lot of your favorite pros cheat. So that just lets me know that if you guys really want to do well, consistently well at this game, you have to cheat. There's like, it's mathematically impossible to do consistently well in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh without cheating, because the skill gap is way too low. There's so much freaking luck involved in this game. It's unreal. Like, it's completely unreal. Like, a great example is people just stacking cards. Like, that's like the most famous way of cheating, is stacking your deck. And some people have been doing it for so long and so many years that they can pretty much 90% of the time guarantee whatever hand they want to get. Nowadays, I know Konami and all the other companies are trying to crack down on cheaters, but real talk, you'll never stop a cheater, especially when there's something online like going to Japan for the World Championships and etc. So cheating, it's inevitable, bro. Everyone does it. I mean, I think the pros and the players who don't cheat are the people who you see top once or here and there, but then again, they don't top for a while. So yeah, man, if you see somebody who you know personally who top here and there, but they don't top all the time, they're probably not cheating. But if you see somebody top event after event after event after event, about 99.9% of the time, they're cheating and they're using rules to their advantage, like heavily rule sharking. Heavily. Number 2, Yu-Gi-Oh has always been unfair. Now, this is another tough pill to swallow, because a lot of us old school players say, hey, Yu-Gi-Oh was better back in the day. Right? Wrong. Now, I will admit that Yu-Gi-Oh was a lot more funner back in the day because it was a lot simpler, but on a competitive circuit, it was the same thing it is today. People still complained about cards. People still thought that the Chaos deck was broken. Thought that the GOAT control deck at the time was broken because that conglomerate of cards put together made an unfair deck that made all the other decks pretty much invalid to play. The most fun I've had playing Yu-Gi-Oh ever was when I was 12 years old and just hanging out with my friends and my cousins, playing and watching the anime. That was the most joy I've gotten out of the game ever. Now, the most joy I've gotten out of the game on a competitive level was 2015 Nationals when I did Amazing with Heroes. That's the most adrenaline I got out of the game. Okay, so I'm lying. The most fun I personally got out of the game was when I was 12 and when I almost topped Nats back in 2015. So, you know, with that being said, real talk, yeah, man, the game has always been unfair. There's no point in complaining about it. You gonna play it, you're gonna play it. If you're not, you're gonna not. Just stop complaining about it. It is what it is. Link summoning didn't kill the game. Pendulum summoning didn't kill the game. Synchros didn't kill the game. I mean, things have to evolve as times go on. Nothing ever stays the same forever. You as a person will never stay the same forever. So just saying that Yu-Gi-Oh was better in the past is completely false. And you guys need to do some more intense history or remember how the things was once again, past tense, and then you'll see how things pretty much never change. It's just the cards we play change. And last but not least, number 1, this is probably going to give me a lot of dislikes. I don't care because it's true. It's mostly your fault you get your stuff stolen. Now, for the people who get their stuff stolen, like in a snatch and run or a smash and grab, because in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, there's been a lot of smash and grabs on people's cars, which is complete BS. Like, even though my car is a 98 Honda Civic beater, you smash my window, we fighting. Ain't no talking. But people have been doing like smash and grabs, breaking into people's cars, getting their binders, book bags, etc. That's ridiculous, bro. So it ain't y'all fault. That's just scumbags, and scumbags will get dealt with at their own rate. But come on, man. We all adults. Most of us, or young adults, whatever. It should be common sense that you're not with your friends, you're not at home. Why would you freaking leave your deck on a table and turn your head in a room full of people knowing your deck is probably worth $500? Right? That's dumb. Why would you bring a book bag full of expensive cards that you're not trading with you to an event to show off? Yes, people do it. They do it a lot because they want to show off their huge collection. They want to sit at their table with their friends and pretend like they're in an anime, waifu, whatever environment, which they are technically speaking, but come on, man. Come on. Cut it out. Leave that stuff at the hotel. Stop being irresponsible. Stop leaving your stuff with your friends. And just stop being so careless. Like, I've seen, like, if you're a little kid, that this don't count towards little kids. Little kids are naturally careless because they don't really know how the world works. But if you're past the age of 14, bro, ain't no excuse, man. When I was 14, I hardly ever got my stuff stolen. And if my stuff did get stolen, it was from people who I knew personally. Nowadays, I'm a little careless because I really don't care about my cards as much as I used to. So I might leave my book bag on the table at Locals and go to the bathroom because I legit don't care. Like, because if I catch somebody stealing my stuff, they're going to get a fist to their face. Real talk. But if I'm at an event and I'm planning that event and I travel, I'm not about to waste my money to just, you know, plan an event and leave my book bag out and have my stuff all on the table and just leave it there. That's completely dumb. That's completely freaking dumb, guys. And, you know, I know a lot of people are going to probably hate this part of the video, but I legit do not care. There is no reason a grown person should not know not to leave their stuff unattended. They teach you this from the time you're a child up until the age you're an adult. There is no excuse. So with all that being said, man, this video got way longer than what I expected it to be. Post your thoughts and opinions about this video in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Let's try to get this video up to 200 likes. That'd be awesome. So with all that being said, man, this is InnovationYGO, and I'm signing out. Peace and stay innovative. Deuces.